IGN's Rewind Theater brought to you by Destiny, coming spring 2014. Pre-order now for exclusive access to the beta.
Hey everybody, I'm Sam, and I'm here with Pear.
Hey, listen.
And we're going to be looking at the new The Legend of Zelda, A Link Between Worlds trailer, or as Pear likes to call it,
The Legend of Hilda.
That's right, and we're looking at Hilda right now, a new character. I'm going to rewind back to that. And here's Hilda looking at a painting of Zelda with yellow hair, the princess we all know and love, and there's some cool clues about the plot of the game.
Yeah, Aonuma told us that she is praying here. Hilda is actually praying to Zelda, who is a different character, but you can already see when you get a closer look that they're kind of like bizarro characters of each other, right?
That's
like they look very, very similar. One is the princess of Hyrule. The other one is the princess of, wait for it, Lorule.
Lorule.
Yeah, even though Hyrule is of course named after Hylia, they have this little play on
words. You
world.
can see the symbol of Lorule right there on the painting's edges as the
life force.
Yeah, the life.
The
Not really
force.
called the life force, but we're going to call it that. Upside down black Triforce.
The satanic
Pretty cool
Triforce.
looking.
So there's a shot of Link. You get your intro shot here where Link is either being sucked into a painting or trying to resist it. We don't know yet what it is. You can see the bracelet on his arm. We'll talk a little bit about that later.
It looks painful.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like he's having a good time being sucked into a painting.
Yep.
And that may be why this guy, that's right, I said guy, Yuga, turns people into paintings. Just to be mean, just to be cruel.
So we think that this is a Gerudo, just like Nabooru in the old game,
or Ganondorf,
and Ganondorf, of course. Some people have called this character Shannondorf because he looks like a girl, but so far we believe it's actually a guy, and this is the heavy
we don't believe
of this
that.
game.
We've got that from the horse's mouth, right?
Yeah, but it could be a translation error, but let's go with it for now. So this scene is very reminiscent of A Link to the Past with Aghanim, right? The wizard turning the maidens, basically sending the maidens in the dark world to break the seal on Ganon. And in this game, this Yuga character does something very different.
Yeah, and we don't know who that is in the painting. That might be a sage.
Well, it could be the maidens all grown up, right? We don't know if there's some time travel involved. But,
I do like the bunny scepter, though. That's
yeah,
a nice touch.
it's the Triforce with bunny ears on it. So could this tie into Ravio, the item shop owner who's got the weird bunny costume? We don't know. Anyway, this Yuga...
And Ravio does wear the bunny mask that looks like
That's right.
So I think that's a really important...
So maybe it's Ravio. We don't know. But Yuga basically turns people into paintings, right? And we assume it's the same kind of idea, like to unseal this supreme demise evil, right?
Yep. And this is, of course, Hilda with her upside-down Triforce staff. She's the Bizarro Zelda, and we're going to see a little bit more
Same
of her
dress, upside-down elements, of course, and dark hair for the first time,
Different character, different motivations from what we've heard than Zelda.
So this is an interesting scene. It kind of harkens back to the Link to the Past again. We don't know why Link is passed out here, but that's one of the dwarven
A Link to the Past out?
Oh, God, you're terrible. One of the dwarven swordsmiths. Of course, you had to rescue one of these guys in the old game. He was trapped in the dark world in frog form, and you got, as a reward, the tempered sword. You get this upgrade. In this game, you see they're definitely tempering something.
Yeah, but Link looks like he's in a bad way in this scene, so...
Yeah, not
we
so
don't really
good.
know what's going on. Hopefully
or he's sleeping because he's waiting for his damn sword.
Now, I just wanted to point out, I don't know if this is going to be actually in the game. This might just be part of the trailer, but you can actually see the Master Sword back there in the background.
Yep.
Looking all nice and shiny, and we're going to see more of that in-game for sure in a bit.
And here's that new evil that has risen, of course. Yuga, again, turning, we presume, one of the maidens, or, related to the sages in some way, into a painting for nefarious...
Yeah, I did want to point out
purposes.
the sweep of the wand there. Notice those kind of rainbow swirls. We're going to see those a little bit later when Link gets the Master Sword. He seems to be able to dispel those, and they kind of end up in other parts of the world. It's kind of a motif of evil.
And then on the left wall, if you see over there in the corner, it actually looks like there's another painting on the wall. This could be a scribble. It could be Link hiding on the wall. We don't know what it is.
We also know that Link can pick up stuff along the wall. If there's a painting of a rupee, you can actually run into it. So maybe that's like it's a chest or something.
Could be a secret, but it is worth noting because there isn't one on the other side. So here's Link watching, of course, shocked, and this looks like the church from A Link to the Past, where you also meet Aghanim and other characters.
It's kind of amazing to look at this this enemy here, Yuga, and think that Yuga is a man, but that's what we've been hearing. I mean, he's got the earrings and.
Again, looks a lot like...
It's very strange.
Looks a lot like Nabooru, right? With a red crystal on the forehead. She didn't really have a tiara like this person, but yeah, it looks like a Gerudo. Look at the poofy pants too.
Yep, the poofy pants and the curvy feet, right?
And this character has a wand with, has a very powerful wand. We think it's the wand of Gamelon. I'm just kidding. It's not. Obviously not. I keep on going.
Yep.
And so here we see Hyrule, right?
This is Hyrule Castle, and there's something really cool going on down there. You can see paintings almost Mario 64 style, and look at that. There's a little number in front of each one: 2, 5, 3. Do you think this is a centralized warp location? Can Link go into photos?
It could be a puzzle where you have to do a certain thing in a certain order, right? I want to remind everybody that in Ocarina of Time, Ganon was actually inside, or in spirit form, was inside a painting as well. So they've had this theme going where things come out of paintings. So maybe that's where you go into certain levels.
Yep.
By the way, did you see that transition when Link in this 3D game is obscured? You can see his shadow, so you see
it's
this
very
dark
Mario
outline.
style. In Mario Galaxy, they kind of pioneered that.
So again, this Hyrule Castle with the music from A Link to the Past. And look, who's that next to Zelda? We think it's Impa, right?
Yep, Impa as an old lady. Now, Impa also appears as a young lady in some Zeldas, but here's a nice glimpse of the princess herself. Clearly, different from Hilda. But yeah, she's looking pretty similar. Again, though, she has a very kind of like doll-like look or something.
Very much,
Characters look so different in this
Or
game.
like early Final Fantasy VII kind of 3D art, And by the way, this scene is interesting because this is exactly like Link to the Past, right?
Or Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, you've got the 3. In this case, though, you have the 3 bracelets, right? Each one representing one of the goddesses.
I mean, they look like spirit stones. The Ferrari, Nehru, and
Din. Yeah, so one for each color, and of course Link needed these in Link to the Past to pull out the Master Sword, which if you look at when you see it here, it has been redesigned to have the wider wings just like in the other games, but Link to the Past it looked a little different. And so this is cool though. Look how nice and smooth the animation is when he pulls it now. It's, yeah.
Yep.
There you go.
So from here on out in the trailer, we're going to see a lot more of the Master Sword.
Yeah.
So here's the bracelet.
Yeah, it's a mysterious bracelet, right? It gives you the power to turn into a 2D drawing and move along the walls.
Yeah, and one of my favorite things about when you turn 2D is that it changes the perspective. So it's normally top-down, right? But then it renders the whole world from the side, so you get to see a lot more of the world, like that crazy sand wall over there, which you can't figure out. And then over here, it looks like that looks like the chamber that Yuga was in previously. Pear and I have argued about this, but look, there's even something on the wall there. I don't know. It looks like the same room, same tiles, same hole in the floor.
Yeah. It's interesting too, this trailer is not heavy with items. It's more about the gameplay mechanics and kind of like the two worlds setup, right? But the game does actually have upgradable items. So, you use these collectibles called Mai-Mais, and you bring them to a character called Mother Mai-Mai in the overworld, and she will upgrade, your bow and arrow, for example, to shoot 3 arrows. And so there's definitely an upgrade system in here.
Well, and I want to point out too, see, each of these temples have different color sets. There's a red one, there's a green one, there's a blue one. You can go to these temples in any order you want because you buy your items now, the special items, like the important items, bow and arrow, the mallet. You buy those all from Ravio's shop, but just a shopkeeper. So it's a little bit unclear how this is going to work out, but you can go to any dungeon in any order from what we understand.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Ravio's shop appears to be in the location of Link's house in the in the traditional light world, now in this new setup. So there are definitely some cool parallel universe things going on, enabling you to get further in the quest. You can see some of the dungeon designs here, by the way. There was one that looked a little bit like the Tower of Hera, and you got the kind of tile set that looked like the dungeon in Hyrule Castle. And here, of course, just like in the old game where you break a barrier with your sword.
Yep. And you notice this is the rainbow goop barrier that I was talking about earlier.
And that is Sahasrara down there, right? Yep. One of the sages actually helping you along.
From Link to the Past and other games. You see the treasure chest up there too. Link is using the Master Sword in this shot. He's very clearly, well, not very clearly, but when you slow it down frame by frame, there he is, whacking that cage with the Master Sword to banish that rainbow stuff back to...
I'm curious, this seems like it was the traditional kind of Hyrule world, right, where Sahasrara is the elder of Kakariko Village and is one of the descendants of the 7 wise men. I wonder if he goes into the other world as well, or if that's just kind of the setup to let you cross over.
Yep. So here's a scene in which we see the painting of Princess Zelda from the beginning of the game, but it's over that weird Tetris wall.
What is with that Tetris door?
Well, it's gone in the next scene.
Yeah.
So something about taking that painting and being able to move into this other area seems to be...
Yeah, maybe it triggers the door to open. We don't know what it is yet, but...
This is really cool.
Hey, by the way, who was that in the painting? That looked like Zelda, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
mentioned that.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Sorry.
So, so this looks like Hyrule Castle still a little bit, or another palace, but it's way high up in the air. Look, you can see the whole world down there.
It's interesting. Could be like a sky temple or city in the sky, like in Twilight Princess, or Skyloft type kind of setup. I don't think that we're crossing into those old games, but there's definitely a connection to other games.
Yeah.
We've heard that there is a little bit more of a connection to Majora's Mask beyond just the mask being.
Do you
on
recognize
the wall.
that area of the map down there? Because like when we blow it up, we're using a really big screen to look at this, but it looks like kind of like the graveyard area. And
Looks
Link
like
to
the
Past
forest
with
down
with
there.
The forest above it. Yeah.
Yep. So we're definitely above it.
There we go.
So low rule here, without the W, of course.
So let's watch this slowly because I want to point out a couple things. In this room, maybe Zelda's room, we don't really know. Look at the little heart. It's pretty cute. So look, you can pick up that heart by being flat on the wall, by the way.
Yep.
There's a mirror on the left, and there's plates on the right. So now let's watch what happens when Link goes flat using his bracelet and goes through the worlds to low rule.
Using
Which
the
is
rainbow
the dark
power.
world of this game. And look, the plates are broken,
Yeah.
and the mirror is still in the same spot over there. So it's not a mirror world. It's a different world. And look, the Triforce there is upside down, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and we learn later.
So it's a dark world, but it's not like mirrored left to right.
Yeah, we learned later from Hilda that low rule was just like Hyrule before. It was beautiful and promising, and something ruined it, right? And you see now the bizarre version again of this walkway that we saw.
Someone
up in
came
the
and
sky.
broke all the damn plates.
Yep,
What was
somebody.
that about?
Somebody. That's what this game. Interesting look on Link this time around. What do you think, Sam?
On this mysterious.
No, the
enemy?
way Link looks, just the character design.
I just think it's supposed. I think it's reminiscent of the very first Zelda,
Yeah.
where Link looks like a little cartoon character.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, like it looks a little bit plasticky and weird for me. Now I really like the designs on the wall.
Yeah, he's got the crazy long sideburns. He has a new shield, by the way, with those two dots on it. We haven't really seen that one before. We've seen like the cross and other designs, so he's got a new one here.
But back to this mysterious enemy. Now,
Who could that
unless
be?
you run what we're doing right now, you can't really see this, but I can kind of make out a horn in the background. I'm just running the video back and forth.
There's a horn and some tusks, and you can see
Yeah.
see that. You can see the pig nose of what we believe is, of course, Ganon.
Can you see a pig nose in there?
Yeah, right here.
Wow, look
And
at
it's
that.
kind of like this evil that gets reincarnated
Who else
throughout
would
the
it be?
story. And whether it's Demise or Ganon right here. This
And
is
look,
probably
Link's floating. You see that?
yeah. That's probably who you guys trying to resurrect, right? From the flames.
He looks exhausted there too.
Yeah.
Kind of a strange scene.
So now we get the opening fanfare to A Link to the Past,
Yep.
complete with
They're
the
definitely
3D
linking the
rendered.
games.
Yeah,
But look at that.
Triforce.
Evil Triforce. The Die Force.
Yeah, the Die Force, the Low Force, and what looked like a fairy. We don't know if any fairies are in the game
And we've
like
seen
that,
some
but-
other art from this game which really shows the realm of Low Rule as a dark reflection of Hyrule.
Exactly.
You can kind of see that in the new logo treatment here.
So hold on, the trailer is not over. Now we get this prayer scene where Hilda is talking to Zelda, just like Zelda was praying to Link, and he heard her. She's saying, Low Rule is just like Hyrule, and we need to have a hero, and your Link is superb. Again, this repetition of the storylines, right? There are lots of different Links. They're reborn. There's always a man. There's always a princess. There's always a bad guy.
Yep, there's a
Giant
hero,
pig.
bad guy. Yep, it's always the same. But we hope this Zelda has a bunch of new stuff which we didn't even see in this trailer because it's the first new Zelda in a long time. Can't wait to play it.
And it says it plays on your 3DS and the 2DS, which will, of course, be out by the time this game ships on November 22nd.
Yeah, so thanks for checking out this trailer with us, and be sure to check back for more. There's actually a whole slew of news and information about the new Zelda games right now on IGN, so check in, and if you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe.
Goodbye.
Thanks.